will actually listen to you and probably do the right test for you. And you're like, oh yeah, I actually had to look this up, but I think you have this, right? It's not common,
Yeah.
but I really feel like you have this. And it's like, oh my God, this explains like half my problems. And I was struggling with this for 5 years.
That's the best one. Or the one that says like
Yeah.
you go in there saying, "Well, I had this done," and then he's like, "No, you don't need any of that. No, it's. I already know what it is. Don't worry about it." It's like, yes,
because you run into some doctors that have this God complex that think they know everything that they're talking about and they won't even listen to you. And then you have
call
doctors
it a
who
God
actually
complex.
Oh, some doctors do. I call surgeons having God complex.
Oh yeah.
Okay, not every doctor is like Dr. Kelso from Scrubs, okay?
Damn.
Oh no,
Damn,
I
Dr.
don't,
Cox.
no, I don't mean that, but I just mean like they have this complex where they feel that, okay, fine, not God complex, but superiority complex, where they feel
I would
like
just call it arrogance.
Arrogance or ignorance.
Arrogant. I hate them.
And to answer your question from earlier, kinesiophobia.
Oh, that's what it's called, fear of movement?
Yes, it's defined as an excessive, irrational, and debilitating fear of movement or physical activity. The fear of motion is associated with a feeling of vulnerability to injury in response to movement.
Oh well, now we know what
I think
that
that's serious. Honey, I'm going out to the store. Okay, you want anything? No, all right. Steps outside. Ah!
No, that's agoraphobia.
They move their head and they feel worried already.
That's interesting.
Oh, that really sucks.
Yeah, like that's like constant high fear. That's pretty sad.
I did find it through a quick Google search, but I did find my DSM-5 book, so I can look it up and see if it's in there or not.
Do you have a DSM-5 book?
Yeah, I'm a psychology student.
But
what?
You guys forget that.
God help us.
Yeah, say God help us all.
Yeah, he said multiple times before that he was a
I know.
student.
This is the first time he said it on stream, though. I was making a joke.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. My bad.
Entertainment.
Do not take my statements as medical advice.
Yes,
but yeah,
don't
the
give
fear,
medical advice.
Definitely not
the
product.
fear of the fear of going outside. That's agoraphobia.
No. I imagine like he takes one step and starts moving. He starts freaking every step he takes on his way to the store.
I see. I don't want to laugh at that. But
that's
it is
hilarious.
kind of it is funny thinking
You
about
know
it.
damn
but
well if
it's
you saw it
like-
in an episode of Family Guy, you laugh.
What I'm thinking of is that what if someone had like a bad trip, and during the bad trip, every time you move, the world moves randomly in random distortions.
Oh, that's trippy. That's like
If you
being
stay
on,
still,
like, super...
everything is
Oh, that's
still.
like Inception. Like, you know how like they went outside and all the buildings are folding in on itself.
Yo, we had somebody who
Yeah, but see, like,
had
I
bad
would
trips.
see
We're gonna have
that-
a conversation about that.
I would see that as like a neurological problem though. If like you're stepping outside and you see the world in like this weird trippy thing, like that would definitely be a neurological problem.
Maybe.
I think that's sad. That's like you can't even leave your own like bed.
Yeah,
because like
so
you're
worried.
You know, they made a
point-
movie about that with Bill Murray called "What About Bob," where he when he walks outside, he sees he shuts the door again and he goes back and he's like walks back and forth, but he does baby steps. Every step he starts saying one baby step, and then he moves his foot.
Bill Murray?
Yeah, it's a whole movie on.
Yeah.
He has all
gotta
those.
watch
He has every phobia, like everything you can think of.
That's really a lot of therapy.
Every
after
door
that.
he has to
That's
slam
really
like I
high
think
doses
10
of
times.
some meds.
Did you guys know that Tom Hanks has a book out about how to make a masterpiece, a cinematic masterpiece?
About what?
That's just arrogance.
Just
What is Tom
arrogance.
Hanks?
I mean, it is Tom Hanks.
It is.
He's been in a lot of really great movies.
It is
But-
Tom Hanks, but at the same time, that's-
it's not like
that's-
he's the one directing or writing.
yeah, he's just an actor.
He's got God.
As if all along was
complex.
ChatGPT making all the
Right.
good movies.
So I think this is a great time to go into the hot topic of questions.
Oh no.
Oh,
Here
Should
it is.
abortion be legal or illegal?
What's the state?
Yeah.
that's not the question.
California,
It's like-
yes.
I like the idea of it being legal in states where there are a lot of people of whom I disagree with on a lot of levels and areas. So in the future, there'll be
So
less
you
of
believe
them.
in eugenics?
Willful eugenics is different. If people choose to remove themselves and the people who think like them from the human gene pool, I find that as a grace and a benefit, a service of which they are doing us all.
Wow.
So
Only if I
So-
disagree with them.
And people
So it's-
wonder why I call him the bad guy.
I'm not a villain. I'm just right.
so
There's no villain ever.
God.
so it's interesting. It's interesting, like to just put it in black and white with should abortion be legal or illegal? Because like
Situations.
because there's so many different situations where it should be acceptable, and then there's some situations where it shouldn't
Then
be
you think
acceptable.
then you believe it should be legal with certain restrictions.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
Yeah, that's
basically where I think, because if like obviously it's none of my business. I'm not a woman. I don't have a woman body. Um but I am pro-choice to an extent. I don't think that it should be used as a common contraceptive to where like a woman can just be sleeping with random guys and then whoopsie daisy, I'm pregnant, and then, she just uses it as a contraceptive.
So you're saying
there's
there
like
should be a cool down.
This would be a cool down.
Yeah.
Cool down in
Not-
this
not-
context.
That's funny.
No. I mean, like, obviously, if the woman gets raped or date rapes or
Against
there
her own
was a-
will.
relies
Against her
if
heavily
own
there
will.
was
on-
like if there was a consensual mistake, things like that, then
Yeah, that's
you
what we
know-
asked.
How is that a consensual mistake?
Yeah, define that.
what's a consensual mistake? A consensual mistake, I feel, would be more on the lines of if you're with a partner and you're doing it, but and you're taking the precautions to not have the baby, but something happens.
But okay, so
The baby?
but Gemini, that's like
No. Getting pregnant, like say the condom broke or whatever contraceptive you were using just happened to fail.
Or you only put
That-
a couple
that
of holes in it.
1% of the time that they
Called the
do.
morning after pill. It's available in every
Yeah,
24
but there
hour
are
pharmacy.
yeah, but there are
guy's
instances
pull-out
where
game
the
was weak.
pill doesn't work.
Oh my god.
There's
Goku heard me. Thank
instances-
Those are
you.
Hey,
strong seeds.
I'm pretty sure someone would have realized, was like, oh shoot, the condom broke. I'm like, you can
Yeah,
get a
there's
morning after pill.
yeah, but there's instances where the pill doesn't work.
It doesn't work after like
Ah,
certain amount of days, but did they not realize what's going on and you didn't
It-
check?
but
Well,
A
I'm like,
lot of
in
a
my
lot of young
opinion-
women don't realize.
well, that's their
No.
problem though as well. They should have realized it, and they should actually be prepared for it all the way when they went through a physical
you're
relationship.
performing
Heavens forbids the
coitus.
logical.
Yeah, they're performing
What's up, Emily?
coitus. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Of course, it counts.
It's gonna happen.
Let's go back to Big
But
Bang.
see,
baby.
that's my
she was
that's my
right.
point.
But
That's my point. Though,
but-
if it's like a actual mistake with two partners, then
Two
two
partners? As in like
as in a as,
Oh god, are
as
we going back to open relationships?
no. I'm saying two partners, as in a male and a female,
couple.
that's
as in a couple.
Well, that's a couple. Just
Yeah.
Group of two.
just a couple
Yes.
fine. Just couple.
I'm not saying a three-way. No, Jesus.
No.
Two
Um,
hamsters.
Wait,
I'm
Falcon.
saying-
You mean a group of one? If it's a group of two, then isn't that a swingers party?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, oh my god, why are we going there? But
Yeah,
I'm
we
but,
need to
saying,
but going
appropriate
back
terms,
into there,
okay?
it's but Gemini,
I'm
like,
saying,
okay, go. Sorry.
I'm saying, like, if you use actual, like, you take precautions,
Uh,
everything like that, you take Plan B, whatever, and something still happens,
Okay,
then yeah, you should still be able to get an abortion then because you were not planning for that to happen.
but
That
Well,
is
how
but
often does
that's
that happen where the morning after pill doesn't work and a condom?
Wow, that's wild. The only thing I've happened
You know,
Wild.
but like, no, like, I really want to know, like, if you're using a condom and that didn't work, and then you use the morning after pill and that didn't work, then you have a miracle baby on your hands.
I've seen
yeah,
people
It's
literally, yeah.
and here's
yeah,
the
I'm
thing.
gonna
But
be.
One
I
person
kind of would
said
fall
that
for
but
that
they
one.
had
It's just
but
not
like
in my
the baby.
opinion,
IUD and they took birth control pills and she somehow had a baby and we're like,
but
how did you exist?
but the thing is that for like, but is it
okay,
100%?
but
But Gemini, sorry, as like, but for that kind of thing, they should have known it's not 100% when they got into that kind of into deep in that relationship. So in some ways, they should have been prepared already before that.
As a
okay,
sense of
but
responsibility, the common person of our day
okay,
lacks
but I
that.
have a okay, so my question is, would you expect every relationship for them to just raw dog it?
No, that's not
No.
the point. But do you expect to be 100% when you're using an after pill and a condom? Does it say it was a condom 100% to be sex like what do you call it, pregnant proof? No.
Well, that's why I'm saying in a accidental kind of thing, if you're
But
using spermicide, an
Oh,
IUD, anything like this, all
yes,
of them are not
but
100 proof.
an accident.
You know, this
exactly
conversation.
that's the proof then.
I thought this was
Okay,
an
hold on, hold on.
accident.
This conversation is giving me quite some deja vu. Just throwing
All,
that out there.
all of
What
all
kind of day?
It's whatever. It's whatever.
What
Talking
kind of
about
deja vu?
a highly
I'm
unlikely extreme circumstance, but arguing about the likelihood of it.
not.
Just a little bit of deja vu. No, just it's fine.
Oh,
I
heck
just
no.
I
Oh.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I
I'm not arguing about it. I'm just
no,
saying that there have been cases of it,
of course, but
and
it's
that's
like
mostly due to the couple doing things that they don't realize are
that's the thing.
not protecting themselves.
But
But
um,
that's the thing
let me throw
then.
a curveball into this. Do
Mhm.
we really want people whose judgmental skills and what course action should take is so lacking that they make such careless mistakes to have more of themselves?
Well,
That
that's what I'm
that
saying.
but
Hey, you know what? I have this is something that was in a sci-fi novel that I'm reading right now. So in this novel, so the way it is that all the women are effectively sterilized at birth, and it could be the process can be removed, but they have to apply to have the process removed that they plan to have children.
I feel like that's just knowing the whole how pregnancy even happens in the first place. How are they mentally? Because their hormones must be really messed up. That's what I'm asking. Like, sure, sterilize them, but what else did you sterilize?
But even even things that can protect women from sex do sterilize them in a way, and it messes up their menstrual cycle. Like the shots, the fucking pills, all of that messes up their menstrual cycle.
Yeah, their menstrual cycle, yes, but then sometimes if they're taking birth control means, like they could also feel a little bit wanting to not be alive anymore, and they need to get that taken care of too. So that's why I'm like, how okay are these women in this sci-fi novel? It's like, oh, you
Well,
sterilize,
it's
Well, did they just act normal, or
Yeah, it's just normal.
okay?
I mean, it's like, it's science fiction, space travel and everything, and they can just, it's like flipping a switch. Like, hey, we can return your menstrual cycle back on if you want to have a children, but you got to apply first.
Like I'm sure you've met some women in your life where the menstrual cycle kind of changes them a little bit because the hormones change them a little bit. They're a little bit testy. They're like whatever sort of thing, whatever changes they go through. Everyone's different, but I'm
I,
like, so
I
how?
don't know, I don't know what to tell you, but that's how it was in the novel.
Oh my god! So I was just thinking, like, I would be like, are you okay, ma'am?
Like the main character, she was born like her mother, like found a doctor who illegally
Illegally. Oh my god.
reverse the sterilization for her.
Oh yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept.
it is interesting.
That actually is an interesting
But like
thing.
if that was like, but if that was an
I will
option,
agree
like
with abortion if it's like rape and incest. I've seen a case where a child who was below 12 years old gave birth in the hospital and they were raped by their family member. I don't know why they kept the baby.
okay,
I was thinking, like, why is this baby
Yeah.
existing?
okay,
like-
I felt
actually,
so bad, and it's so bad to see of how this child has no idea she gave birth to a human being.
so I have a question actually. So when people say making the exceptions for rape and incest, are those always coupled together?
don't-
Sometimes it could be rape because I've seen another case where
Like,
but
like
you want to keep the baby, but I'm like, don't you have emotions of this traumatic event and you're going to see it in your child forever?
I mean, yeah, I know that's a possibility, but it was more like is the incest always coupled with rape?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
No.
gonna say
Fair.
because
Like, what if it's like
it-
incest but not rape? Like
But
that
I've
Jerry
seen
Springer
cases of
episode.
both, and both actually really make me worried. I'm like, and you kept this baby for 36 weeks, and you're here, and you don't even know. You're not even looking forward to your next cartoon show anymore. You have a human child. It baffles me if
Alabama.
how it all happens.
Oh, Shinoto. Oh,
I think-
Alabama.
I think it can.
But yeah.
I think they both can happen, but I don't think because like incest is usually ingrained into the family, so it's not always coupled with rape.
Oh,
But
Okay,
rape
yeah.
can also come from somewhere else, and the
Yeah, rape is usually random.
And not consensual.
well,
not always random.
yeah,
not
it's random
consensual.
to the person, to the victim, probably.
Right. It's to the victim,
Yeah.
it's random. They're not expecting it, but to
It's just
probably
not
the
consensual.
rapist, they were planning because
Of
they
course.
went after some poor person and
Committed.
trauma.
committed,
They gave them a lot of trauma to deal with for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why I feel like if you're a rape victim, you would
Tomo.
obviously want to, abort that baby. But I don't know why some of the victims, especially with like Roe versus Wade, like why she kept that kid.
You could also drop
But
it at a
it's
fire
like-
department.
It's a lot of I don't know. I can't vouch for those people. It's whatever they decide. We're not allowed to tell you what to do. You decide this for yourself.
Well, yeah. They're their own people, which is why it's like again, like I'm for, abortion to an extent, but only when it comes to like certain mistakes. Not if it's only used as like a first, the first thing when it
Okay,
comes
Definitely
to
I
use
could
it.
I could agree with Gemini. I
contraception.
am against abortion being used as a contraceptive. Yes.
It should not be
Yeah.
used as contraceptive. And I've seen people
Yeah.
say, "Oh yeah, I had this is like my 12th pregnancy, but I'm gonna go to an abortion clinic for that." I'm like,
They
why?
shouldn't.
They should
No,
clear you to
not
give
really,
birth
though.
later on in life. You're just gonna be
Ooh.
shot down.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like,
It should
you
teach
know,
you a lesson, if anything. That's supposed to be.
It should. I would think it's
Like-
kind of painful to have an abortion.
Yeah.
oh yeah, definitely is. None of the tools in there are friendly at all. They fucking scoop that shit out of you, and
You
it's
have to talk with Mr. Claw, Mr.
Well, it
Saw.
depends on and what how late in the term is the procedure being done.
And then there's
Shinobu
always
says, I think it was called spermicide. I don't know what he was
Spermicide.
referring to.
So
oh yes,
what?
I did
Sterilizing
say
a man.
What is?
I did
so,
say spermicide.
so
Spermicide is something you can put on the vagina.
I think kind of. Okay.
The
Okay.
real spermicide is if you watch Teeth.
Oh,
Oh, God.
no, 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 no.
Oh, that movie.
No,
Okay,
no.
yeah, I got you. I know where we are.
Not today, Satan. Not today.
Oh, that movie. That movie was pretty
Yeah,
funny.
spermicide is like this
I think I was
special
in middle school when I
gel
saw that
that's
movie.
supposed to like get rid of the sperm and everything like that, and kills it.
Guess, but ugh.
Yeah, I know it's
Negative
nasty.
feelings.
Wait,
I know
but
it's
okay, so
it's
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I know it's nasty to think about.
Okay, next question.
Well, actually, no. I actually have a question here. Like, so what is the percentage of failure for both condom and birth control?
I don't know.
Probably
assume-
like around 1% or less.
I would say it's sporadic and random, which is why I said that. Like,
It depends on the
you know,
effectiveness of the brand.
that's why I
Okay.
said like if it's a mistake, yeah, sure. If if you don't tend to have the child, then that's an okay
Ooh.
circumstance.
It's 18%.
Okay, yeah. So it's
18 out of 100 become pregnant in 1 year.
okay.
Oh my
In
God.
various studies, the odds of a condom breaking, across various studies and meta-analysis, 0.8% to 40%. Don't buy cheap condoms.
Don't. Is that right? Don't buy
So it's
cheap
exactly
condoms.
what DD just said. It's about the name brand.
It's about the name brand. It depends on the quality you use. That's
It's
how it's
literally
supposed
the
to
name
be.
brand.
It's because it depends
Spend
on what
another
you.
10 more cents on that condom. Got it. And don't put it.
Wait. I got their slogan. Don't make
Here.
this a problem. Use
Okay,
Trojan.
When you're trying to put
Oh,
it
no.
but
Wait,
Hey, hold on.
wait.
Uh,
Rena's trying to say.
Birth
No.
control has a typical failure rate of about 4%.
it's because it's actually there is more things added to it. Condoms, I don't know what they really
Yeah.
use, really, and I just like
They use
Or
well,
buy
there's
condoms that fit.
latex.
Buy
There's
condoms that fit.
there's latex. There's sheepskin. There's all these.
I thought that
This
was a
guy's
meme.
fancy.
No, that's not a meme. They
You actually
use
use
sheepskin.
those?
Yeah.
It's like it's
Oh
not
my
Trojan, it's something else.
yeah, it really depends on the quality of like.
Dang.
Yes, I think, but even still, even the most like the best quality like birth control brand is not 100. It's never gonna be 100%.
Well, no, that's why I said yeah. Like if
But
if it ever is a mistake,
But
that's
that's
why
on the
it's
that's what I'm trying to refer to. Is like that's on the person by that moment, in my opinion.
Didi,
Like when
are
they try
you
to use all.
Didi, are you suggesting that people should if they have sex, they should understand and accept the possibility that they might get pregnant?
Yes,
It's just sign a contract like Dave Chappelle,
I would
remember?
assume so. If you're if like
Expecting too much of
seriously,
people. You think they're rational.
okay. No, but like they should at least be somewhat. They should be at least
Somewhat
like
cognitive?
aware. Yes, they should be somewhat aware that it may happen, and because I don't know why they think that using birth control and condoms like contraceptives to be 100%. It's not 100%.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I can agree with that. None
Yeah,
of it is 100%.
exactly. That's so. In doing so, they should know before that even if they have quote unquote safe sex, they should know that it's not 100%, even though it's quote unquote like I said, safe sex.
Well, yeah, I can agree with that, which is why like some of these random events do happen where, uh-oh, she's
And
pregnant, and then
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Before they
they,
should understand, they need to be ready for those kind of things.
yeah, then the woman end up, or the couple ends up going to someone, with an abortion.
Yeah,
They end up going to
and
the
then they should.
clinic, and they're just like, oh, well, should we really get rid of this? And then there's that talk to go through.
That's between the couple.
Yeah.
That's
So,
on them by that moment. But like I said, even before that, they should be mentally prepared by that moment when they go into the physical relationship.
yeah, and I imagine it's like very an emotional
Uh,
deep ride.
Exactly. So, like I said, they should talk beforehand when they go through those kind of things, and that's on them.
Just make sure it's not 9 months old,
Oh
please.
fuck
It's
yeah!
not even, but even well, by that
Whoa.
moment, hopefully you see a drastic change when you're going into it into 9 months. Okay, to your body, the body transformation. Okay.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor,
No,
but
but the
to
thing is
me,
that, but there is certain aspects when you're pregnant, you have cravings, so you should or
no,
symptoms to having
yeah,
those kind
no,
of
I get
things.
I get what
Okay,
you're
some
saying. I'm just
people,
saying,
not gonna
like,
lie, they don't even realize when they're pregnant until 6 months in, and then they
They
wonder why there's something wrong with them. And it's like, bam, you've been pregnant for 6 months, and
like
you're like,
how were you not known within the first like maybe
oh,
month
it
or
was really
two?
funny. We thought like there's multiple times where I've seen people come in and we had no idea they had no idea they were pregnant. It's like
Actually,
I could see a bump on you.
Well, if their normal
yeah.
diet is French fries and milkshake, it's not going to notice much of a change in the dietary habits.
Actually, in a way, that's actually no. I agree with Falcon on this one. That is true. So cravings,
It's
in
not
a
even
way,
a
is
joke.
not.
Some people actually do have a craving for French fries and milkshake. It's just
Yeah. I know. I
French
can.
fries from Five Guys.
That is
Yeah, we
true.
do
I'm not
have
gonna.
French
Five
fries
Guys
and
got
Five
the
Guys.
Yeah.
best fries.
I
Product
can't eat those
placement.
fries. I can't eat those fries.
Not
Unfortunately, they use
sponsored.
oil. So,
Not sponsored.
Not
but
sponsored.
I'm gonna say I know this response may
mm,
be a little hot, but like
mm,
I feel like if there's a heartbeat. Now, I don't know when a fetus
what?
stops being a fetus because I'm not a scientist or anything.
I
But
mean, I
if
don't
there's
know
a
the
heartbeat, but if there's a heartbeat, that's when it becomes tricky, right?
Well,
When there's a
when
heartbeat.
so let me. I want to see
well, that
what is
ties
the
into
actual.
a different question. So that question would be when should there be a cutoff period for abortions, and if so, when?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's actually a good question to
Yeah,
wonder.
that is a good question. Is that when they start to form, or even like even before they like? But that's kind of it's
because
kind of like hard a little bit sometimes because you have to catch it on the spot a little bit. You have like a couple months in,
because I
about
because
maybe.
like I'm gonna quote Bill Burr about what he said about abortions, and it's like, you know, like I feel like he doesn't know when they become babies or whatever, but if it's a heartbeat, that's when it becomes tricky because it's like if you still go on with the abortion, like that fetus could have been a baby. So it's like if I was making a cake and
So
you come into my house and you just smash the cake all over the place, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like,
so
well, it wasn't a cake yet. It's like, well, it would have been if you didn't smash my cake all over the place, you cake murdering fuck. So, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
40. So that's like so apparently when the fetus
A heartbeat.
forms, it's in about 40 weeks into the typical pregnancy. So
Wait,
40 weeks.
a heartbeat?
The egg there will become your
No, a
baby.
heartbeat's much sooner.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the
Isn't
form
it
of
like
the
three?
baby. I'm talking about
Okay.
yeah, that's all the full 10 months. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's a full 10 months going in. Eighth weeks. I'm sorry, that's 2 months in. So yeah, it's 2 months in. So
Yeah,
that's
it's in
when
the first trimester.
yeah, exactly. But apparently, when the first signs of pregnancy is 2 weeks into your pregnancy, quote unquote, when the first signs pop up. So you have until the 2nd week to the 8th week.
Now, other points that people would argue for is at what's it called? Cognizant. Cognizant.
Mm.
You
What you
know,
mean,
when
like if the baby's like kicking your
cognizant,
stomach, or
cognitive,
if
like
it,
they have actual brain act, like they can actually
oh,
respond to stimuli and stuff like that. Some
okay.
people say that. Other people say viability.
All right. I think we can move on to the next question at hand.
Yeah.
Should we reduce the price of vital medications like insulin?
Uh,
Insulin, EpiPens. Usually, I think insulin. From what I've seen, was racking up to like $300, and like EpiPens are pretty expensive too, like $100 something. And those are vital medications. Like if you're like a type 1 diabetic, you're relying on someone else's insulin, like medication insulin.
I would actually agree with that because I have
Yeah.
medication that is like I have Epidiolex that if I didn't have my insurance, I would have to buy on my own, which would be roughly about 30K.
Oh,
So
what?
Jeez.
yeah,
Hold,
That's a full fucking salary, dude.
hold
Your
on.
salary
yep,
right there. Yeah, that's about a
yep,
full.
just for one bottle.
Yeah, Jesus
Oh my
Christ. I can
god.
only imagine.
That's a
So
lot.
I guess I
That is a
suppose the
lot,
question
dude.
is, why are they expensive? And based on why are they expensive, then we can determine whether or not the prices can be lowered.
If it's a
Well,
private
it
company
depends
that
on.
created the medicine
It's
and they
like
have
people
the
like
ownership
they
of it,
ship
there's nothing that really can be done
insulin.
about that.
Yeah, and not only that, the amount of materials obviously being used, whatever it contains, obviously, and the
But
obtainability
the
to
guy
get
who
it.
made insulin said it was supposed to be like worth pennies so people can afford it. And
Well, obviously, the government screw that, or the
no,
hospital.
I think it's the insurance company. It's
The
the
insurance company.
pharmaceutical
There we go.
that.
There we go. There you go.
That's the
Take
problem.
advantage.
I would say, depending on the type of medication, they should they should and they shouldn't lower uh the type of medication, because let's say like Clonopin or Ativan, things like Xanax, uh, Zoloft, I think the prices that those things are at are good enough because you don't want people getting their hands on them and then overdosing.
Yeah,
But
addicts,
those are
pretty much.
prescribed medications only. You can't get them over the counter.
Yeah, true.
Like someone has to write it down for you and hand it to you and has to prescribe it to you in order to get those type of medication. That is not available like you could get Tylenol over the counter.
I think the government should directly invest in research for new medicines. That way, the government can basically lower the price
But
of the
the thing,
medicines that
but
they've invested in.
The whole process is so
okay,
hard to get
yeah,
through.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's true, Falcon. Like the time and the money to have all that research to go through.
But we have
Yeah,
a lot of social
If
programs we don't really need. We can just like take that from that budget.
my fucking
All I'm gonna
god.
say is, all I'm
because
gonna
there's so
say
many
is,
things people want research for, but we can't because
We
they need
don't.
money and they
Exactly.
need
It's
time for
always
it.
yeah, that's the problem we have when it comes to trying to finding new stuff. It's always the money, is the
It's
funding is
money,
an issue.
time, and approval.
True.
all I'm gonna say is that we still got doctors like Michael Jackson's doctor,
Oh my
and
fucking
What?
why are we
yeah,
going there,
we still
Gemini?
got doctors
Yeah,
that
that
are
that
still kind of corrupt, and they will write
uh
off prescriptions
okay.
because people beg them to.
Well, wait, Gemini.
So
This is just a funny question, just a little bit out of it. What would you rather trust, a quack or a corrupt doctor? Pick your poison.
I like ducks, so the quack.
I would also trust the quack selling me elixir, blue
At least,
water,
The thing is,
saying
the
stuff
quack
like
might
that
be accidentally
rather
right.
than
yeah, exactly. True.
Doctor's gonna be straight up malicious.
yeah.
True.
I wouldn't trust the doctor giving me like 10
It's the
bottles of fucking
intentions behind it.
Klonopin.
It's the
Yeah.
intentions behind it. I understand. But yeah, mm,
All right.
And also with quack doctors, we wouldn't have uh John
Aflac.
doctors like John Remus Brinkley, who was the goat testicle doctor who literally
Oh, we
took a
talked
man.
about him.
Yeah, he's a fun guy.
oh my fucking
And then
god.
he literally started off as a snake oil salesman, selling people blue-colored water, telling them to inject it into themselves and that it was a cure-all. So he started off as quack. He never finished med school. Somehow he had a PhD, and he just yeah. And then he did the same thing with the goat testicles. He was just like, yeah,
Uh,
this is a cure-all for everything.
actually,
This
uh,
this is
I have
why
a
the
question.
FDA has to approve some medications first, and that takes a little while to get it approved.
Oh
Wait,
yeah,
wait,
I
wait, wait.
I have
he
one
was
last
definitely
question.
one of the reasons. He was definitely one of the reasons why the FDA came in, and why a lot of respectable doctors did not like him.
That sounds terrifying.
What is your question, Didi?
For the going back into the question, for instance, since like I don't really know, but you guys brought it up the number is apparently what $300 to be provided with insulin, right? Is that included with insurance as well?
Like the main question, the pharmaceutical companies are the reason why prices are racked up like 300%.
Jesus,
So
that
they just want to
must
make
like
money off of your like illness.
yeah, it's so bad. But it
No.
kind of sucks because we have to be referred to them to when it comes to getting medication, prescribed medication as well.
Yep,
Too.
and that's a long other
It-
process
it-
too.
yeah, literally. But in regards to that, that must like, man, this is my emotion coming in a little bit, obviously. But well, what about the people who are just like less fortunate? It's just like SOL,
For what?
or just
Or
just are not able to afford it, essentially.
Yeah,
Do you think it's just literally
if you can't
so
afford it, they're like, well, this is the solution, and you have to pay what $30,000 because you're not covered. It's like, no,
Literally, even when you're covered, you still have to pay. If it's 300 including covered, that's
yeah,
300
like
times
$300.
12. That's 30. You're paying about a little bit over 3,500, 3,600 pretty much. If it's $300 for the whole year.
So I think
If
the
you're
30-year
doing month.
investment just for one medicine is actually worth it for the government to take up.
Yeah, but the thing is, like it's like we said, of Falcon. It's just like the time and the money.
Yeah, put in the time, put in the money.
Well, the time. Well, just getting to approve too, because we have to look into all the like with all the time in the world. Do you think the freaking who's usually approved the best FDA? No, not FDA. What am I saying? Who approves of it usually, Trini? With
Which for
for
medication.
like yeah, medication being patented pretty much.
Well, one of the steps is going through the FDA if it's FDA approved.
Yeah, that's one of them. But I think there's like a bunch of others, don't it? There's like a bunch of others. You have to like look into like they have multiple people to look into it or multiple groups, sorry, parties to look into it. So it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, and sometimes the only time it could be like it could bypass the FDA approval if it's like meant for an emergency reason, like all the COVID stuff back then.
Back then.
Well,
It seemed like
COVID
it
was
was a
so
long time ago.
mishandled that the people are not going to accept any more emergency actions.
Yeah, but they still say it because I had to get a COVID test, and they're like, "Oh, but this is not FDA approved for this." It's like, I know this works because like we have to use it for my job, so this has to work. Oh, look, I'm COVID positive. Okay.
All right. Anything else anyone want to add to? Should we reduce? Should we reduce the price of vital medications like insulin?
I think we can fund it if we revitalize how we do our taxes. We should be it should be mandatory a certain percentage of your tech goes straight to taxes, and it's the same for everyone. But usually, like where that money goes to. You have a checklist where you have to mandatory select 3 items,
Just take out
and
a
your taxes
Medicaid.
get
No.
spent.
No.
Damn, he straight up said no.
What's the flaws in that?
Do not let people choose where their taxes.
No.
If it means to the end of society, then the people deserve it. If it means to the growth of society, then that is their W.
What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate?
Basically,
He wants them to choose. He wants them to pick tax. He wants people to pick taxes that go to terrible things that lead to the downfall of society, so that he can get rid of them
Wow.
in a way that keeps his hands in his pocket clean. That's
All
what he
right, so
wants.
we're not doing that.
no, because when we look at it, the areas where people make smarter choices will have better stuff. And where people make not so smart choices, generations down the line, they won't exist. And in the future generation that moves into that territory will make smarter choices.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
wait.
It's natural
Can we
selection.
move on? Can we move on?
Wait, hold on.
By
Wait,
taxes.
Falcon. I'm interested. What
Thank
would
you.
we do about the homeless?
Oh, we just kill all the poor.
Well, you let the people vote on that.
Oh
The region
my
vote.
Volcano.
California would take him in.
Volcano.
Wait, so what do? Wait, excuse me. Stop.
What would we do about the homeless?
What do we do about the people that are in prisons that
Yeah, that was about
also-
to say. It's like, what would you
Yeah,
rather kill off, the
the
homeless or
people
the
who
prisoners?
are the people who are less disenfranchised, homeless people, prisoners, what are you going to do about them? Because they are, you know, also a part of the community.
Personally, I think if you've been in prison, you're no longer in prison, you should be allowed to vote. It's not allowed for presidential elections.
Wait, are prisoners not
So
allowed to
there's
vote?
still, yeah, if you're in prison, you're not allowed to vote, I believe.
I did not know that. If that's
If you
true, I
are
don't know.
in prison, I believe so. Yeah, I think he's correct.
Okay, I did not know that. Okay, but in regards,
Is that it?
I can we go on to the next question, please?
I feel to see how it's going to affect people who are in prison because they can't vote either way. So it's like, people want a society that better takes care of inmates.
Yes.
They'll vote for it.
Yeah. Felons. Oh well, if you are in prison, you cannot vote. However, there is sometimes there is cases where you can get your right to vote back, or sometimes it is permanently irrevocable. Permanently revoked.
In the end, that is.
This is why the mass arrest of political opponents is a sign of a society's downfall.
All right,
Cough, cough.
let's go
Okay.
right next to the next question. Should healthcare licensed professionals be paid more?
Depending on the situation.
I don't think so. I think they're paid enough.
I want to get paid more.
I think it depends on the situation that depending on the profession that they're being paid for. Depending
If your
how
job is just to basically punch in paper, I'm sorry, fam. You're not in the front line.
no that
You get a cut.
I feel like if they're there, taking care of the patients, actually being a doctor, people
But
who are people who are nurses, people who, actually do the job of being a caretaker, then yeah,
so this
the raise things like that.
okay, sorry, Gemini.
No, no, what were you gonna say?
No, I just have a question. So for instance, if you were a specialist, right, and you were to solve something that nobody else would solve, but they don't do any of the other requirements, essentially. I don't really know specific specialists, but if they only do one thing specifically for it that nobody else can do, should they be paid more than the one that just do the commonly normal checkups and everything, do what they can, and that's it?
I'm confused by the question.
So
Like nursing should get paid more.
yeah, or
Well,
yeah,
nurses should get paid close to like not like super the doctor, but like they should make more like to the doctors because they already know most of the stuff that the doctors do.
We save
They
your life.
do. They do a hell of a lot more.
but when it comes to but when it comes to like the surgical operations and everything else compared to
People, they have to do overtime anyway because
that's true.
it's they say like maybe every other week or something, every single person who works in any type of operating thing or time sensitive place, like for heart attacks, like major heart attacks that need something, or like major operations that needs to be done that night, they're gonna call you in. And you have to be there in like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and then do the operation. Or you have to follow up with the patient after the operation.
I feel like if you're a surgeon, let's say you're making 6 figures already.
You already do.
No, you don't have to get paid more. I feel anybody who's a specialist in any part of the body, whether it be digestive tract,
That's specific.
motion specialist, neurological.
Wait, what? You guys sense a deja vu.
Anything like that. What you mean?
I don't know, I feel like we had this conversation before.
Yeah, when he was talking about his neurologist, not knowing neurology.
No, like specifically this, like at this specific moment in time during my raid.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like the people who are already like specialists like that, who are more than qualified doctors like that, no, I don't think they should get any type of, because they're already making 6 figures. They're making maybe even well more than 6 figures, depending on how good of a doctor they are. If they're literally going from room to room, checking on patients, not having, and I don't want to say this word in a bad way, but having their underlings check on you, I feel like that's not good in a way.
How
To
do you
me, it
feel as
doesn't
though
show.
doctors don't do enough actual work?
Yes. I feel like they do to a certain extent, but then because of how many patients they have, they usually have people who shadow them or people who work under them go to their other patients.
Okay, so I have a question to that. So, but the thing is that if they're specialized in doing one thing that nobody else can do,
Yeah,
do you
there's
think that they should
specialists.
just like, yeah, they're specialists for a reason. They specialize into doing one thing, and obviously, like, don't get me wrong, with nurses, I know they do a lot more of the work, but like hands-on with the people. But when it comes to purely saving someone's life through really truly intensive stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't think they should get paid more for that. They're already at a position that pays them so much.
So you're just saying that they should just have a set salary when they first begin and just let it be like that?
No, when they became a doctor, when they worked themselves up to that position, they already had a set salary to begin with, and then they worked themselves up to that more defined salary.
Okay.
Yeah, when you have that more defined salary of 6 figures or more, no, you don't need any more money. That's what I'm saying. Now, when they begin, it's the same thing with them. They have a set salary to begin with, and then they work more and more and more, and then they get more of a salary. I honestly feel that the salary that they have to work to is not enough. They're there more with the patients until, let's say, a person that works under a specialist gets to them, and they're a lot more personable with the patients. They're like,
But our nurses are
Uh,
able to
so-
to operate on a person that's about to die like that, though.
So I have a question.
they literally help surgeons in the operating
Wait,
room.
but Trini said that we already have that. Is what Trini said.
Yeah, they already have that. It's considered like your first year. Let's say you're a new grad. Well, this is nursing. This is in the nursing territory, but nursing territory, if you're a new grad, you get like a crappy pay because you're going through a long orientation. You get paid a certain amount, and then after 1 year, they increase your amount. And then the longer you stay there, usually in every hospital, unless you're like per diem, they increase your pay. You just simply have been there longer, so they will increase it.
Yeah, and I would imagine the same thing happens with specialists.
So they do that already, technically. Still not enough for the amount of crap we have to deal with.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Oh, so the question is just a matter if they be. I could assume they could try to be close to it, yeah. But specialists should always be paid more, in my opinion.
Usually the specialist has been paid more already because they do
Oh yeah, of course.
care, they do more research than on that specific topic more than general practitioner doctors.
Yeah, and but Gemini is trying to. Wait, Gemini, you're pretty much saying that they should be be paid equal or near to that. That's my question now.
No, I'm saying a specialist, since they already have the knowledge that they do have, and they already have up to however many figures, obviously more than a nurse or more than a regular practitioner or a doctor, they don't need any more money than that.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're saving people's lives and this, that, the other thing, but they're always helped by regular doctors, regular practitioners, and nurses. So it's not like they're doing it by themselves. So,
Okay, I have a question
no,
for you.
I don't. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Could you accept that there's more to doctors that you may not that you may not know? To how much work they do?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, totally. I'm not an expert in this field. No.
Gotcha.
Are there more? Is there more to doctors than I probably do understand? Yeah.
All right. Here comes some hot topics. Should healthcare licensed professional have higher authority than police when it comes to patient care?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's their
Yeah,
field of specialty.
yeah.
Due to their greater
Think-
knowledge in that field than the officer in that field, the authority should fall under to the healthcare provider.
I think
I
it
agree with
should be
that.
equal. I think it should be equal
Like what?
because what I mean by equal is that it should, depending on who arrives on the scene, they should have a way of information of telling, well, this is what happened when I got here, kind of thing. And if the ambulance is already there, then they the healthcare providers should take it over from there. So
Yeah, so but that doesn't that's like
Let me explain the scenario as to why this question was formed. So there on the news it showed that a nurse was being arrested in the hospital for not giving up a patient who was unconscious to the police. The patient is a suspect in a shooting. However, due to hospital policy, they cannot release patients if they're unconscious.
Okay, yeah, that's
Therefore, the
fair.
police have exerted their authority and forced the nurse to give up the patient, but she was fighting for the right of the patient and called the doctor that checked the patient earlier on if the patient is cleared for leaving.
Okay.
And
Uh,
the doctor said no, the police cannot take the patient, but the police continued their authority and arrested the nurse and charged the nurse for resist.
Okay.
Impeding their investigation.
Yeah,
Yes,
I have a question to that now. What's to the police in general? What's the point of a suspect if they're unconscious? I'm assuming, right, DJ?
they're
They're unconscious.
completely unconscious.
What's the
They're not.
point of what's the point of having? Why not let him be conscious and helped by the professionals, and then they could get arrested by that moment?
Because they were probably just going to take him in since he was unconscious.
Then,
They probably wanted to get him unconscious and brought to the police station, but that is highly unethical because
of course.
there could be a chance that the suspect could die on arrival to the police station.
Exactly. So that kind of just stops their
So
investigation.
that's where the formation of this question came. Should healthcare licensed professionals have higher authority than police when
Yes.
it comes to patient care?
Yes.
What I'm used to is yes, they even ask. There's like certain.
If
It's like, is it
Absolutely.
okay
To
Absolutely.
me, I feel like when police step into the realm of hospitals, they have no authority.
That they have absolute none. They should not.
Now, the only time they would have authority is if for some like a crazed man with a knife is stabbing nurses left and right.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
yes, yeah,
yeah, of
yeah.
course. Yeah.
Yeah,
If they're
but
conscious, but if they're not conscious at all, or
if the
just like,
patients are not conscious in this situation, I don't think police have.
or have no right, or they can't speak up for themselves or attest to themselves, they should not like they should not be involved at all in
I
regards to their care.
I still believe it should be like a mutual thing. No one exerting power
Mm,
over anybody, but it was just in the example that I had before where it's like if the police were already there and then some medical person, like just share the information, then let the ambulance take it from there. But if it's something where the two can actually work on, even if they're in the hospital, like they should listen to the medical practitioners of like, no, you're not allowed in here. Obviously,
But
yeah, that's what we're more
that's
referring
what we
to.
were saying, Gemini, because um in this case, in like what I was saying, like I can pull up the video. It's somewhere on YouTube. Where a nurse was, telling police officer that the patient is not medically cleared. But
Yeah, that's
in
the
this
term.
instance, the police did not cooperate with the
yeah,
nurse,
no,
even
no, I
pulling
mean,
out their gun, threatening to arrest the
A
nurse.
nurse. That's
no,
crazy.
like I agree with that. I just feel like the cops should have been more cooperative
Yeah, but
because there
yeah, but
is a way for them to be to both be mutually,
I'm sure there is.
There is,
cohesive
yeah.
with each other.
No, I'm sure there is. But in that situation, obviously the police officer wasn't wanting to cooperate. So in this instance, shouldn't it be given that the nurse has more of a right and authority
Yeah,
over the officer?
Yeah, that's what we're
yeah.
more
In
referring
that
to.
instance, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're more referring to, if anything else.
Loki, oh my god. Loki says, when do they ever want to cooperate?
It depends on how much they
What
want to get their money.
what state was this in?
I'm gonna have to look for the video. I don't remember what state that was in.
But
I'm gonna guess New York.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I
I'm gonna
actually would
guess.
not be surprised if that was New York, but
Yeah, yeah. I work in
I
New York,
don't,
and shit like that can happen.
I don't think it was in New York, to be honest. But
I'm gonna
It
guess
can be.
California.
I'm guessing New York.
you have to say
but
New
but
York.
but yeah,
New
Gemini.
York.
That's more, yeah. But when it comes to the final word, it should go to the healthcare professional. So
Right.
Mhm.
I
the police
mean,
have
the
to
idea of
listen.
the police should be like